Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we take a look at some pretty complex tech and try to pull out what you really need to know.
And today, we are jumping headfirst into professional video distribution.
We're looking at a device that engineers are calling a low-cost powerhouse. It's the Thor Broadcast H-4SDI-DVBT IPLL.
That is a mouthful. Whole stack of acronyms right there.
It really is. But our mission today is pretty simple. Unpack what this thing is and, why professionals think it's the fastest encoder out there for live video.
And this isn't just some theoretical piece of hardware. I mean, our sources say this is already running in dozens of pro and college stadiums right now.
Exactly. So let's start there. Imagine you're handling a live camera feed in a stadium. What's the number one thing you care about?
Speed. Has to be speed.
It starts with the input, right? We're talking 4 channels of HD-SDI, which is, the gold standard for pro video.
Right. Uncompressed, highest quality you can get. But with live action, it all comes down to latency. That's the LL in that long product name. Low latency.
Okay, so that's the delay. The time between the quarterback throwing the ball and it showing up on the big screen.
Precisely. And in a stadium, if that delay is too long...
Oh, it's a terrible experience.
It's jarring. You hear the roar of the crowd, but the replay on the screen is seconds behind. It's this audio-visual echo that makes fans nuts.
So how does this unit solve that?
Well, it attacks that delay directly. We're talking encoding times as low as 70 milliseconds. Sometimes up to 250, but still incredibly fast.
70 milliseconds, wow. That's getting close to the threshold of what the human eye can even perceive.
It basically is. And that speed, that's the core reason integrators call it the fastest encoder. It's essential for what they call PRODVB applications, the internal TV systems in these massive venues.
Okay, but speed is only half the story, right?
It is, yeah. Big part of the low-cost powerhouse nickname comes from its versatility.
Right, because when you see a price tag of around $4,995, you wouldn't immediately think low cost. So why is it?
Because it's not one device, it's 4. It's an encoder, which, turns the camera signal into a digital stream.
Okay.
It's also a modulator, so it can create a regular cable TV channel, like for the luxury suites.
I see.
Then it's an IPTV server for streaming over the network. And finally, an ASI MUX to connect to other pro broadcast gear, all at the same time.
So you're replacing 4 separate dedicated boxes. The cost for all that would be, well, a lot higher.
Astronomically higher. Not to mention the rack space you save.
But doesn't putting 4 jobs into one box create a single pretty scary point of failure?
That's a great question, and it's a valid concern. But the field data, the fact that it's being used in these huge arenas, suggests it's incredibly robust. The versatility means you're ready for any distribution needs simultaneously.
So once the video is encoded at that lightning speed, where does it all go? How flexible is the output?
It feels like it connects to everything. You get 3 main pathways. First, that traditional DVB-T RF signal for cable. Second, the high-speed ASI output for sending to, say, a broadcast truck. And third, IPTV streaming.
Which covers all the network stuff.
Yep. RTP, RTSP, UDP. It can send a signal to a single screen or multicast it to thousands of screens across the entire venue's network.
And what about the actual quality of the picture we're sending?
It's flexible there, too. You can use the older MPEG-2 standard if you need to, or the much more efficient H.264. And crucially, it supports full 1080p at 60 frames per second.
So silky smooth, high-def video.
Exactly. And the whole thing is managed through a simple web page on a separate network port, so the techs can control it from anywhere.
So you've got the technical power, the operational simplicity, and the financial case. It's a pretty compelling package.
Absolutely. It's a backbone piece of hardware. It perfectly bridges those high-end SDI camera inputs with every standard distribution format you can think of, DVB-T or IP, all while making speed the top priority.
So let's leave our listeners with a final thought. This one box handles both old-school RF broadcast and modern IP networks. So think about this. How does a device like this change the job of a stadium AV engineer? Are they still an RF specialist, an IT networking expert? Or does this hardware now demand that they be masters of both worlds at the same time?